All right, so when we're talking about competency one, we have to talk about how the teachers use different types of evaluation. We're talking about lesson planning and designing here. All right, so questions along the lines of, if Mrs. Smith is a seventh grade teacher and she's planning a lesson on teaching this type of algebraic expression, what's the most effective way to see if the kids are understanding what's going on in the classroom? So when we talk about things like that and we're talking about competency one of the big overarching themes that we must discuss and understand what it looks like in lesson plans or looks like in the classroom is the difference between formative and summative assessments. This is a big theme on the professional ed. So let's talk a little bit about it. All right, so you have formative and summative. So many different questions transcend different competencies on this test, but we're talking about Comp 1 here, so let's focus in on this. So we have formative assessments. Now, I'm not going to sit here and give you the textbook definition of what summative and formative assessments are, because that's not necessarily going to help you on this test. You need to know the applications of what things look like in the classroom. Am I right? So when we talk about formative assessment, remember to look at the root word on this test. And as you can see, if you're in my professional ed courses online, you know I really stress strategy. Pump the brakes. A lot of people, if you're a college student and classroom teacher, think, oh my God, I don't know what this word is. Look at the root word, just like we teach our kids in the classroom. Formative, form. What does the word form mean to you? Shape, right? Something that you form something. When I think of form, I think like doing pottery or something. You formulating something, forming something in a certain shape, right? Formative instruction is what shapes the classroom, meaning these are things that teachers do on the fly during the classroom to see if kids are understanding the objectives of the day, right? So you think, well, what the heck does that mean? Formative instruction can be thousands of different things. Anything that you're doing during class to inform your instruction, to tell you as the educator, hey, do my kids understand this, right? If I'm teaching about the Civil War in a social studies class, what thing can I do during class to see if kids are understanding what we're teaching, right? Whether I'm lecturing something, whether we're doing cooperative learning, whatever it is, what can I do? You could ask questions, right? The simple thing as asking questions is an example of formative assessment. Having kids write things on the board, right? Raise your hand if you know what this thing means, right? Just writing down notes, observations of what you're seeing kids doing, like anecdotal or running records in the classroom. Any of those things, anything that you're doing to check comprehension or critical thinking skills in the classroom is formative instruction, is what forms your instruction. Remember that. Formative, key word is form. Anything under the sun. You will see that theory, that idea come into play in, I would say, 5 to 10 questions on your professional ed test. This can be in competency one, as also be in the assessments competency as well. So it's kind of how to plan, how to see. So as long as you understand that, when you see a question that's a scenario based, which I know throws a lot of people in the loop, anything that you do that informs and tells a teacher, hey, these kids get it or they don't get it, is formative assessment. Now, on the flip side of that, we have to talk about summative assessment, right? Don't get the two confused. Summative assessment, key word, once again, sum, right? Think about math where you're a kid, right? In elementary, middle school. I know that's bringing back bad flashbacks right now. I apologize. Think about it. The word sum in math means what? Adding at the end, the sum of something. Summative assessment is anything that's done at the end of a unit of instruction or at the end of the year. So a summative assessment can be lots of different things. It could be a unit test, right? If it's a question that revolves around doing a unit test, that's an example of summative assessment. Things like end of course exams, that's summative because it's summing up the school year, right? FSA, perfect example. Summative assessment. Now, don't get it twisted. When we talk about formative and summative assessments, these are umbrella terms. There are lots of different specific items, which we'll get into other videos here in this channel. When we talk about formative assessments, these could be criterion reference, norm reference, or inquiry based, all these different things that encompass that fall into that umbrella. So think about the umbrella, formative and summative, and then we have lots of different examples underneath. So I just want to, in this video, just kind of go over the two of those because a lot of people I encounter get them confused or they don't necessarily understand what formative assessment means. We're not talking about formal and informal. We're talking about formative assessment and summative assessment. So remember, just to wrap up this video here, formative, anything that informs your instruction during class, quick, on-the-fly things, raising hands, asking questions, kids writing on the board, heck, doing an activity, doing like a Venn diagram or any kind of thing that you can see and witness, whether it's hear or see, kids are doing to tell you, hey, they're getting the objective of the day, or hey, they're not getting it, I need to reteach something or back up or give more examples. That's formative. Inform instruction. Summative, sum, adding it up at the end. All right, so tune into the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment box, and we'll be right back.